All right, guys, I've got the JJK Avengers once again. We've got Diavolo, Quirkless Shinobi, No Operator, and the Fake Weeb. We're all going to be going over Chapter 226 here. So let's get into it. So immediately we're seeing that Gojo is surviving the pseudo decapitation, as we thought he was. Instant reverse curse technique. Choso says that he could run away, because in theory, Gojo could run out of Sukuna's barrier since it's open, but it has such a huge radius. It's at least 140 kilometers, or like close to 200, I think is what they said back in Shibuya. But he can't move fast enough without Limitless, because as Kusakabe says, he compresses space and coordinates. And I really like that simplification of Limitless, because that also explains how he was using it in the previous chapters in this fight, like when he was like lifting up the bridge and moving Sukuna and whatnot. Yeah, we were talking about it looks like telekinesis, but he's just compressing space and coordinates, as he says.
So does that go back to his like ability to use teleportation to like start with and stuff? So that's why Gojo is able to like actually teleport, is because he uses his Limitless to like break down and his self and then like move his coordinates to somewhere like else and then like appears. They're like how he does it or something. Like I think I'm like missing some kind of like part of that. But
no, that's a great question, because it's never explored again. Like I'm pretty sure he only does it that one time, right? When he's taking Yuji to Jogo.
That's how we got the Kenjaku in chapter 221. He
Oh, yeah,
teleported the
I
bottom
guess
of the
he
ocean.
did. I thought he just
true,
went there
yeah.
super fast. But yeah, I guess he did teleport. But it's like, when he's teleporting, it's like, that also in itself isn't explained. Like, is he breaking himself down? Or is he like doing some kind of like wormhole? Like, is he breaking a space in reality?
I imagine it's kind of like similar to like the hand from JoJo's, where it's like you just delete the space in between, or like kind of compress the space in between. Or like if he's doing long distance teleportation, it's like he's literally just making one quick beeline to where he wants to pinpoint to, and then it's just whomp, and he just appears A to B.
Bringing the space, like kind of how Uro does with her ability to grab the air around him. He's almost like bringing the space towards here, like where he wants to go, or like grabbing that coordinate and bringing it to his like positioning, and then I guess like appearing in that location all of a sudden, but like flinging himself through space. I don't know, that's how I'm like imagining it in my mind.
I imagine it's blue, because it probably correlates to the explanation that he gives when he's fighting the baghead dude in Hidden Inventory, where it's like blue gives him the ability to like make certain situations in reality happen that aren't possible, like having -1 apples, like, and that's how he kind of smacks the clones together, right? Because he basically just compresses the space between those two people, and then they just fly into each other and smack into each other. So I kind of imagine that's kind of what the teleportation is. It's just a really extensive way to use blue.
To add on to that, I think it's like almost confirmed blue, because I remember in Shibuya, Kenjaku did say that Gojo uses blue for high speeds. And also when he teleported Yuji to Jogo's location, in the manga, Gojo just said they jumped, but in the anime subtitles, they said they warped. So yeah, definitely like the hand from Jojo, or just some like space-time distortion is definitely at play with his teleportation.
I don't know if you guys have seen Interstellar, it's called.
Space one. Interstellar, yeah.
So,
oh, bro, that's such a good movie.
It is.
Such a good movie.
So they explain the way that they go through space is like they get like a piece of paper and then they fold it and then like put a pencil through it. So instead of going from like point A to point B in a straight line, you're bringing point A to point B by folding it.
Yeah, that's probably
That's
exactly
what I was like saying by how he like grabs its location and almost like warps the space to where he is. Like he just like literally grabs it and brings it to where he is. But that's exactly what I was thinking as well.
I think it's kind of
Interstellar,
funny.
Everything with that movie is within the realms of actual possibility and everything. Like nothing outside of that movie is outside of the realms of possibility. So 100% is.
Yeah, especially with the whole magnetic effect of blue and bringing in negative space. So if he's putting in negative space and then pulling himself in as the magnetic effect, that's effectively, to like the naked eye, it would be teleport.
Such an in-depth ability just for like teleportation. Just blue, the fact it can do so many things, you know, it's actually crazy. I love it. I love Gojo's ability. I think that goes back to like how right here where he says like with regard to curse technique, he's overwhelmingly stronger. Does do you think that just like proves it in some kind of aspect that his ability, yeah, he might only have like a few abilities, but it's overwhelmingly stronger than Sukuna's?
I'm gonna jump ahead in this chapter because we see when Sukuna gets blitzed by Gojo, he's like, whoa, this speed. It's the same way he talked in chapter 2 about Gojo's speed after teleporting. But we don't see Gojo clap his hands together in this scene, so it seems there is some difference between him simply moving faster with blue and forcibly teleporting himself. Unless he teleported directly onto Sukuna to hug him.
So one thing I think is like really funny is like without blue, just to get back to kind of where we are in the chapter, like when Gojo does start running away, right after he says, you know, my limitless is far better, and he starts running away. I was kind of talking about this earlier, and someone in my chat said that the average person can run 200 meters in about 20 seconds. So you figure if Gojo's probably faster than the average person, that's about 10-15 seconds. So imagine basically the stakes right now for Gojo is that he has 10 seconds to get out of the 200-kilometer radius of Malevolent Shrine. Meanwhile, he's got Sukuna, of all people, just like dogging him with attacks the entire time as he's trying to get through. Like, we have to, the one thing that I want to give props to is definitely Gojo again, for like, who else could we see in a situation like this that's able to get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, just
like,
with pure
legit.
curse energy reinforcement, very few, if any.
I honestly, only other person that could actually run, like physically run away from this, is Yuji with his like speed. Like, what did he do, a 50-meter sprint in like 4 seconds or something crazy like that? It's like he could make possibility of Yuji gapping it out there if he's got the speed. But yeah, I don't think there's anyone else that could actually outrun Sukuna, to be honest.
And speaking of that, I mean, he's unable to escape. He gets lit up like Maharaga did, except
legit.
He takes it. So he's just, I mean, I guess he has to be just, as he's getting slashed thousands and thousands of times, he's just reverse curse techniquing at the same time so that he's just not turned to like mincemeat.
For that mincemeat thing, you can kind of see it with back where he first heals his neck. Like, his head is actually like full on detached, if that makes sense. On the second page of the chapter and whatnot, you can see that his head was full on detached, the veins there like clinging to each side where it's like reconnected. So man has taken some crazy like slashes over and over again, and he probably is getting, like, the amount of blood that he is losing, like, he is definitely taking damage, but it's just with RTC, it doesn't heal stamina loss, does it? So it's just he is healing his physical wounds but not regaining the like stamina lost while taking them throughout the battle. That's my understanding. I don't know if that's correct or not. I have to go back and like actually check it. But yeah,
I don't know. Has it ever been fleshed out that much?
Well, I know a lot of people have said that they discount this because it's Ino saying it, but I think it is kind of relevant, is the fact that because Gojo is using reverse curse technique pretty much repeatedly and consistently, because you have to imagine the slashes are also coming repeatedly and consistently. And Ino does mention that because he's using reverse curse technique, this is the first time Gojo's actually is depleting in stamina or cursed energy, specifically because he's using more for once than he's actually replenishing at a normal basis.
Yeah, like Sukuna points out, he's like, he moves well for someone like using reverse curse technique at full throttle while keeping my slashes, like slashing attacks at bay. So he's definitely like under strain or whatever. But then literally in the next like panel or in the next page where he uses simple domain, and then in the next one over there, you see his face, and man just looks like he's absolutely chilling. Like, he doesn't have a care in the world. He doesn't look like he's puffed at all. So it's so hard to actually get a gauge on how Gojo is faring in the fight, because he looked beat up in one panel, and then the next one he looks like he's just chilling, like he's having the time of his life. So it's such a it's so hard to figure out what's going on, you know, like how intense the battle actually is for him.
I think it's just kind of implied from Yuta that, like, even though he is depleting cursed energy, he has more than even Yuta does. So even though he's depleting, he just has so much, it's not even a big deal anyway.